All right, today we're cracking open the email marketer's playbook. In just the next few minutes, we're going to walk through everything you need to know to craft emails that don't just show up in an inbox. They actually get opened, get read, and get clicked. So let's jump right in. First off, why are we even still talking about email? Well, because of numbers like this, a 900% return on investment. Seriously, that means for every single dollar you put into a smart email campaign, you could get $9 back. It is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful channels you have. But here's the thing, right? How do you actually get that kind of result? It's definitely not about just blasting out more emails. No, it's about sending the right email to the right person at exactly the right time. And that's what this playbook is all about. We've broken it all down into 6 chapters. First, we'll cover why email is still king. Then, we'll build your strategy, design emails that actually convert, master the tricky art of delivery, figure out how to measure your success, and then, the best part, put it all on autopilot. Let's do it. Okay, Chapter 1. Why does email still matter so much? In a world of passing trends, email is like the unsung hero. It's a direct line to your audience, a line that you actually own. So what are we talking about here, really? Well, at its core, it's just using a channel to send ads, offers, or useful content straight to the inbox of someone who already said they're interested. And that's the key. It's based on permission, which is what makes it so incredibly powerful. And check this out. Where are people actually reading these emails? Overwhelmingly, it's on their phones. A staggering 82% of all emails are opened on a mobile device. This one statistic changes everything. If your email doesn't look great on a phone, it basically doesn't exist. So, keeping that in mind, how do we build a winning strategy? Well, Chapter 2 is all about realizing that success starts with knowing who you're talking to, not just what you're selling. And the key to doing that is a little something called segmentation. It's a simple but brilliant idea. You take your big list of subscribers and divide it into smaller, more focused groups. So instead of one generic message for everyone, you're sending way more relevant stuff. And you can segment your audience based on, almost anything, from their job title to their purchase history. Just imagine you could send a special offer only to customers who bought something in the last month. Every little slice gives you a chance to be more personal. But here's the crucial part. Segmentation is just the tool. The real goal, the prize, is personalization. It's about making each person feel like you're talking directly to them. Sure, using their first name is a start, but the real magic happens when you recommend things they'll actually love because you know their history. Okay, so we know who we're talking to. Let's get to Chapter 3, designing an email that actually makes them do something. How do we get them to go from just opening it to taking action? Every great email has 5 basic parts. And while they all matter, everything, and I mean everything, comes down to 2 things. A subject line that's interesting enough to earn the open, and a call to action that's clear enough to earn the click. Think about it. Your subject line has one single job. Get that email opened. And the data doesn't lie. Just adding someone's name to the subject line can boost your open rates by a whopping 26%. That's huge. And once they're inside, your writing has to deliver. This quote right here is the golden rule. You have to shift your thinking from "we have this cool feature" to "you will get this amazing benefit." You always have to answer the reader's biggest question, so what? What's in it for me? All right, so you've built the perfect email. Now for Chapter 4, the art of delivery. Because let's be honest, the most amazing email in the world is totally useless if it lands in the spam folder. A big part of this is just playing by the rules, which, of course, are different depending on where you are. In the US, the big thing is having a super simple way for people to opt out. But in Canada and the EU, you need their explicit permission before you can even send them that first email. It's a subtle difference, but it's a critical one. You also have to keep your list clean. Think of it this way. A soft bounce is a temporary problem, like their mailbox is full. You can try again later. But a hard bounce, that's a permanent dead end. The email address is just wrong. You have to remove those immediately to protect your reputation as a sender. Okay, your email is sent, it's delivered, but your job isn't over yet, not even close. Chapter 5 is all about listening to the data, figuring out what worked, and making the next one even better. Hitting send is just the beginning of the story. Now, the single best way to get better is something called A/B testing. It sounds scientific, but it's really simple. You just create 2 versions of your email, maybe with 2 different subject lines. Send each one to a small slice of your list and see which one does better. The winner then gets sent to everybody else. It's like a mini competition for your marketing. So what are you measuring? Well, these metrics right here, they tell you the whole story. Your open rate tells you if your subject line worked. Your click-through rate tells you if your message connected. And of course, your conversion rate and ROI tell you if it actually made a difference to the business. Let's zoom in on one of the most important ones, the click-through rate, or CTR. It's just the percentage of people who actually clicked on a link in your email. Look, a high open rate is nice, it feels good, but a high CTR means your message truly hit home and got someone to take action. And all of that brings us to our final chapter, automation. This is where we take all these amazing principles we've learned and put them on autopilot so we can scale our success without scaling our workload. Marketing automation sounds really complex, but honestly, it just boils down to 3 simple building blocks. First, there's an action. That's the trigger, like someone filling out a form. Then there's a decision. That's the if this, then that logic. And finally, there's timing, when the next step happens. That's it. An action, a decision, and timing. So there it is, from strategy and design all the way to automation. You now have the complete playbook for winning the inbox. It all comes down to being personal, relevant, and always measuring your results. So I guess the only question left is, what's the first play you're going to run?